Bangladesh, the 10th most populous country in the world, has 119 million people living in an area of only 51,703 square miles. A country almost 66 times smaller than the United States, supporting almost one-half the population of the U.S. Dhaka, a megacity with a population of over 22 million residents, is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, and the sheer size of people is causing a huge strain on its climate. Research from the public health sector in Dhaka showed the rapid and unplanned urbanization over the past few decades has brought risks like air pollution, inadequate water and sanitation, poor waste management, overcrowding, slums, and substandard housing conditions. Dhaka city consistently ranks as having one of the worst air qualities, and the declining health of its people show how much pollution affects its citizens. Burning solid trash, brick kilns, factory and vehicle emissions are responsible for roughly 85% of the city's air pollution. A journal published in the National Library of Medicine shows that by 2020, the 4,500 brick kilns around the nation are anticipated to grow by 50%. Around 2.2 million tons of coal and wood are burned for this purpose around the Dhaka district. This results in the emission of greenhouse gases, carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, and other toxic chemicals like dioxins and furans. In this case, gaseous pollutants are dangerous chemicals that are put into the air by a variety of activities like factories and cars. 12% of Bangladeshi adults are diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, or COPD, which is one of the leading causes of death and disability in poor and middle-income nations. Long-term exposure to air pollution also causes cardiovascular illnesses, chronic asthma, and other respiratory illnesses.
I've been admitted here for the last 2 weeks, but I've been suffering from respiratory illnesses for quite some time now. Even had corona in between this period. It all has to do with dust and pollution.
Health experts say pollution is a silent killer, and the number of respiratory illness has increased tenfold in recent years.
Absolutely, because of air pollution, the number of patients has increased, suffering from various pulmonary, respiratory and other lung diseases. We've observed that the number of people we used to attend to as outdoor patients with respiratory illnesses has also increased significantly. And air pollution is an important factor.
According to the U.S. Air Quality Index, the air quality value is 160 for Dhaka, with 2.5 particulate matter. This level is 8 times higher than that of the World Health Organization recommendation for air quality every year. Far away from the main city, climate degradation takes its worst toll on the Sundarbans mangrove forests. Located in the southwestern corner of Bangladesh, spanning 3,900 square miles across India and Bangladesh, the Sundarbans, also known as sea forest, lies in the vast delta on the Bay of Bengal. This freshwater swamp forest is interconnected by a complex network of tidal waterways, mudflats, and small islands of salt-tolerant mangrove forests, and almost every corner of the forest is accessible by boats. UNESCO has classified the Sundarbans as a World Heritage Site, and 3 wildlife sanctuaries are in Bangladesh's portion of the Sundarbans. The region is also marked as a biosphere reserve. It's a diverse and fragile ecosystem that is also home to endangered animals like the Royal Bengal tiger, fishing cats, saltwater crocodiles, Irrawaddy dolphins, and the critically endangered river terrapins. The Sundarbans are threatened by both human activity and natural factors. Research shows that the most biodiverse areas in the Sundarbans will be reduced from 60% to 30% in the year 2100, with 88 centimeter sea level rise. A study done at the Chakaria Sundarbans at the northern Bay of Bengal part of Bangladesh showed that over the past 50 years, human-driven activities such as fish and shrimp farming, salt production, and cutting of wood for collection has significantly contributed to mangrove forest area degradation. In 1972, 64% of the land area was covered by mangrove forests, and in 2020, only 4.6% of those forests remained. This area is home to about 7.2 million people, 4.5 million in India and 2.7 million in Bangladesh, and their livelihood depends on these forests. Around half the population live below the poverty line, and most rely on subsistence agriculture, supplemented with fishing, crab, and honey collection. Cutting down mangrove forest trees has made the land extremely vulnerable to cyclones and bad weather events. In the last 23 years, the area has witnessed 13 supercyclones, and scientists predict post-monsoon cyclones will increase in severity between 2041 and 2060. These cyclones have displaced millions of people and damaged significant portions of the land. Rising sea levels has also dramatically increased soil salinity, which continues to threaten the livelihood of farmers who rely on subsistence agriculture. They have experienced heavy losses as saltwater in fields and ponds killed off fish and rendered fields uncultivable. Environmental pollution is a glaring issue in a developing city like Dhaka, but across the world in North America, the Dallas-Fort Worth area is also fighting a climate battle of its own. KERA News published a study using a tool called Climate Trace, which ranked the DFW area third in the world for transportation-related greenhouse gas emissions. Climate Trace data shows a persistent air quality problem that comes with the fast growth and rapid urban sprawl in North Texas, which encourages the use of more and more automobiles. The city of Dallas found that transportation produced about 7.1 million tons of greenhouse gases in 2019, and the American Lung Association gave Dallas County an F for its ozone problem.
We want to talk about the record heat in Texas happening right now. It is so intense, it caused the road to buckle. The weather is also putting a strain on the state's power grid.
Texas has also consistently had record-breaking temperatures over the last 10 years. There were more than 1,600 days when a heat record was matched or broken. These intense heat waves cause extreme stress to infrastructure such as electric grids and dams. A Texas Tribune analysis found that 334 people died from extreme heat in 2023, which is more than any other year on record. Texas, which borders the Gulf of Mexico, also has nearly 200 oil and gas platforms that perform offshore drilling. Gas leaks and oil spills are environmentally disastrous and destroy marine life and ecosystems, and also cost the state major money in its cleanup. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010 caused nearly 5 million barrels of oil to leak into the Gulf waters and polluted an estimated 1,100 miles of shoreline. Offshore wells are also abandoned when oil companies deem them to be not profitable, and more than 32,000 abandoned wells are littering the Gulf of Mexico, the Arctic, Atlantic, and Pacific Oceans. These unmaintained wells and pipelines are an environmental hazard, as they are more likely to leak or spill oil or gas into the ocean's delicate marine environments. When Hurricane Ivan hit the coast of Louisiana in 2004, it damaged the Taylor Energy oil platform, which has been leaking for 16 years, 300 to 700 barrels each day, and is still actively leaking even after $435 million were spent to decommission the site. From a small developing city like Dhaka to a major metroplex like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, each city faces its own environmental challenges, but the biggest common denominator is climate degradation because of human activities like overpopulation, pollution, burning fossil fuels, and deforestation. Alanis Obomoswain, Canadian activist, pierces the heart of the issue when she said, When the last tree is cut, the last fish is caught, and the last river is polluted, when to breathe the air is sickening, you will realize too late that wealth is not in bank accounts and that you can't eat money.